Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Quick look here at ICP. We're going to double check a couple of key factors. We got our X marks the spot here with that little retest of the most recent high for this channel. We were stuck within, so we're going to talk about that and a few other things here. We've established essentially higher highs and higher lows, so we've shifted from this bearish downtrend, breaking the descending trend line to range-bound activity, and then retesting that range with a higher low and effectively continuing higher. So this is very much a standard perfect case scenario here for a trend reversal. Now, is this going to sustain? That is the question. We got to double check that and make sure we're on the right tracks and see where we're at. So if you are new to the channel, I love teaching people new trade. Sorry, I don't teach. I love teaching people how to trade. I work with a lot of new traders, and I hope that you can learn something today. That's a mouthful. I'm sorry, folks. I do talk a little fast. Some people like to set the speed to 0.95, 0.9. I don't know. It probably sounds weird if I do that, but generally speaking, if you learned something today, that'd be great. Comment below, like, subscribe, follow. Please hit the like button though before we get started. I greatly appreciate that. And if we take a look, of course, at liquidation, we just kind of like to look at this to see what the incentive is for the price action in the general near future, right? Because again, we can see heavy concentrations at 1350, upward as low as about 1290. So it does seem with the price action being closer to that recent level of liquidation, the price will probably gravitate more towards that, okay? So just know there's a lot more concentration of liquidation above the price action than below, but ICP held like a champ at this 1050 mark. 1050 seems to be a nice low point for this coin, and I think it's a pretty solid area of support. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. Quickly congratulating some folks here. We can see XRP, nice short we took day before yesterday, 45%, Fetch.ai, 52%, and yes, we did short ICP with great success, 28% in 13 hours. Roughly 2 days ago. Okay, we also have an older file coin trade, 82%, 6 days. So we've since shifted gears though, folks, because just because a lot of shorts worked at the time doesn't mean they're going to work now. They could very well still find some success, but generally speaking, at this point, I think that it's one of those situations where you want to be kind of cautious and careful, taking a lot of longs, but it seems to be the momentum has shifted. So much money is flowing into Bitcoin and altcoins even at this point that we can see a pretty solid amount of consideration. Bitcoin dominance is low, considering the overall sense of the market, does imply that Bitcoin dominance being low is a recipe for a lot of alts to continue higher. Okay, let's see if it's worth jumping into this coin here. So we're going to double check the daily time frame, work our way down, and quickly understand a few things along the way. I'll go ahead and remove this X marks the spot. That's just kind of a confirming factor on the hourly. And let's double check the moving averages first, because this is where we were kind of in trouble before. If I recall correctly, we were under, and we still are, under the 20 and the 50-day SMA. Okay, those are hanging out about $13 to $14 as a rough estimate. Until we get back over there, I don't think we're like truly, back on track, right? We are above the 100-day SMA, which is nice, and the price could still continue to rally. Just know we're below this point of control here. So if we zoom out, let's get the accurate one here. It's somewhere between 13 and 1350. It's actually getting a little bit more volume here too as well in lower price points. But yeah, 1315 is the average highest most amount of volume. And why that's important is because that's the place in which people love to buy this coin. They feel like that's a good value. Now you'd be like, wait a minute. If they feel that's a good value, why isn't 1250 a good value? Well, the truth is 1250 is still a good value. It's just that the overall sense, it takes a little while for people to shift momentum. In other words, right now at this point, $13 might seem a little high because that was a recent low. Okay, I know it sounds kind of weird, but generally speaking, there's a psychology behind all this. And the point of control, the average amount of volume is probably the most beneficial thing you could probably utilize, I would say, in conjunction with a lot of other good indicators, because it's really helpful to know that we're in a good shape there. And we just got a notification Bitcoin just crossed 67,000. Fantastic. Cool, that's exactly what we're looking for. So ICP, what are we looking at here? We are looking at a few key factors. Let's double check the 50 and the RSI. Not quite there yet. Money flow index still pretty low. This is not a great sign, folks. I'm not trying to talk negative about this coin. It's just it's been beaten down for so long that there's a strong chance at this point that level is going to be it's going to be a point of contention. So that's going to be right at that $13 mark. So me personally, I would feel confident or comfortable taking a long position with this coin when we're over that $13 area or range first. Again, these are not truly bearish signs, but they're not great, right? We see a shift in momentum occurring, a bounce off of 30-ish on the RSI is great, but generally speaking, money flow index is low. So if you look at the 4-hour time frame, this changes totally. This completely changes everything. Okay. What I mean by that is in the last 4 hours, this is a little bit more of an accurate assessment of where we're at. We can see stochastic, first of all, is almost topped out at 100, still slightly pulling back, but money flow index is super high in the 4-hour time frame. This is extremely beneficial. These are coins that I like to kind of trade when I see that. Furthermore, we're over 50 on the RSI. That is fantastic. And we can see MACD is strong and converging here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're about 7 hours in continuation into this trend. We're on our 8th 4-hour candle. So the truth is, a lot of times when you hit a 9 on TD sequential, price action can and will turn itself around. Again, you look at this previous downtrend though, we hit a 9 and kept going, okay? So 9 continued further. So I would not trust the fact that this coin being close to being overextended is just going to turn itself around. But again, a lot of factors are involved here too, with Bitcoin crossing that 67,000 mark. That is an area in which we can see, you know, that's a very positive thing, but if it doesn't continue further, we could see a pullback from ICP. What I'm getting at here is the most important thing here is that we are above this most recent support level. So even if the price does pull back to this area, we're going to have a lot of support between $11.70 and $12. So to me, dollar cost averaging in this range would be awesome if it comes down to it, because a natural pullback is natural, right? That's exactly why it's there. But generally speaking, we're in really good shape right now. And I think that there's a lot of reasons to consider a long versus a short. Well, I think you should kind of close your mind to considering shorts right now, because breaking through this ascending trend line for not only ICP but Bitcoin as well, very, very positive. Because Bitcoin was having this consistent lower low, lower high pattern. We broke that completely yesterday. We bounced off our point of control, and we're testing that range right now at 67K for Bitcoin. A lot of good things are going on right now, and that factors in positively here for ICP too. Last but not least, let's just look at our cloud and just kind of confirm. So this is where I actually had my X marks a spot from yesterday. It was right here, because we wanted to wait for the price to be above the cloud. So what it did here, take a look at this. Price comes up, breaks through this resistance level here, comes back down to retest it with a nasty candle wick and continues higher. Okay, it's really common for recent resistance levels to become new support. So that's exactly what happened. It bounced off that level. Okay, so that really just reaffirms that this, once again, 11.70 to just say round number $12 mark, this range here is a strong amount of support. So if the price doesn't pull back, I'm going to be interested in taking an entry here somewhere on the $12 mark. I don't think that's a likelihood. I think that probably may never happen, but if it does, I'll be interested in evaluating and seeing if it's worth taking along at that point. Right now, the price is kind of running, it's nearing its top, so it would make sense for it to pull back anyway, so I'm not going to jump in. And I know for sure, that's just generally how things work. The price will continue to run even when I'm, because I'm waiting for it to pull back. You know how that feels too, right? I'm just going to wait for a better entry and it never happens. It's okay. There's tons of other opportunities, folks. It's okay. No worries. Try not to stress out about it. But at this point here, I would say that that's generally what I'm looking for. But the great news here is that we've broken this descending trend. We've established range-bound activity and since retested that recent high off of that trend. And really, there's no reason why the price should drop any lower. If it does drop any lower, keep in mind, we got tons of support here and here. Okay? I think anywhere between $11 to $12 is an extremely good value for this coin. I'll go ahead and submit some limit orders in my spot bag, see if we can get filled in that $12 to $11 range. All right, so that's kind of where we're at there, folks. I hope that made sense. I described that correctly. Make sure you use ICP and trade that on the best exchange in the world. My personal opinion, yes, but I can tell you our community will completely agree. No KYC or VPN with this exchange. Use my link to register. You get awesome rewards, and we have some trading competitions coming up as well, too. Awesome stuff, folks. Thank you, Bitunix, and thank you, too, for liking, subscribing, and following, and I greatly appreciate that. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks again for your time.